Thank you, Chair Sanders. And I want to jump in just where Senator Murkowski dropped off with regard to the Fair Drug Pricing Act. But I also want to share a constituent experience first. I hear all the time from Wisconsinites who cannot afford their prescription medication. People like Jackie Trapp from Muskego, Wisconsin, who has terminal cancer. She wrote me that the drug that keeps me alive is also driving my family towards bankruptcy. It has doubled in price in the very few years I've been on it, and it costs me $15,000 to $21,000 out of pocket per year. My husband is worried enough about being left alone, and I worry about him having to start over financially in his 60s as our lifetime of savings is being wiped out from one drug, Revlimid. The price of this drug, Revlimid, has increased over 20 times. Stories like this one are the inspiration for the bipartisan Fair Drug Pricing Act, which I'm reintroducing today with my colleagues, Senator Murkowski, Senator Smith, Senator Braun. The bill requires manufacturers to submit a transparency and justification report 30 days before they increase the price of a drug by more than 10% in 1 year or 25% over 3 years. This is a first step, but it's a really important one. For the first time, it gives taxpayers and patients advance notice of price increases, but it brings basic transparency to the market for prescription drugs. Dr. Kesselheim, why is it important to require manufacturers to publicly justify their price increases, including by accounting for things like research and development costs, net profits attributed to the drug, and marketing and advertising spending? And what is the impact of transparency requirements when it comes to the list prices of medications?
Thank you, Senator. So I would say that one of the reasons it's important to require companies to disclose this information to a board or some other means is, first of all, to give them the incentive to actually generate information that would justify the price increase. Right now, pharmaceutical companies can raise prices without any justification and without doing any research. And if you require some kind of disclosure, you could actually incentivize companies to generate high quality research information that could then help guide physician and patient choices and could provide more usefulness. I think another to helping guide prescribing practices, and I guess another thing that such a measure could do would be to actually dissuade companies from making those from increasing prices when they don't have that information or when they don't have a justification, or if they don't want to provide insight into their marketing budgets. And so could actually, prevent these kinds of price hikes from happening in the first place, unless they are really truly justified by some kind of, change in the supply chain or manufacturing practices.
Thank you. I want to continue in this vein. From 2010 to 2019, the FDA approved 356 drugs. Recent research from Bentley University finds that NIH funding contributed to every single new drug approved at a cost to the taxpayer of roughly $230 billion. In spite of this contribution, the NIH is listed on only 27 of those patents. This suggests that while taxpayers provide funding for the bulk of the early stage research, they do not get patent protections supposedly secured by the Bayh-Dole Act. In essence, American taxpayers are paying the highest prices in the world for drugs that they already paid to help develop. Dr. Kesselheim, are American taxpayers getting a fair deal for this research investment? And how should we be looking at and examining and accounting for the taxpayer contributions? And what could this mean ultimately for drug prices if we got it right?
Well, I mean, I think that Americans are getting advantages when the products that are developed by public funding end up leading to important new treatments, like as we saw the COVID-19 vaccines, or other transformative drugs. Research from our group has shown that by far transformative drugs are much more likely to come out of public funding, and NIH resources. So I mean, I think what this shows is that first of all, it shows the limitations of the patent system as a way of assigning credit for where products come from, because you can't get a patent until you are at the much more closer to the final stages of cost of development. And even for those drugs, though, we don't end up providing a lot of recognition of the public's support for those products in the prices that patients provide, and as a result, some people argue that patients are paying twice for the drugs, first in the research leading up to their discovery, and then second in the super high prices that we pay because we don't have any control over the prices in the U.S. market.
I yield back